Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. Alhamdulillahilladzi kataba siyama 'alal mu'minin kama katabahu 'alal ladzina min qablihim la'allahum yattaqun. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarika lah. Lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu fil ula wal akhirah. Wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan 'abduhu wa rasuluhu al-mab'utsu baina yaday sa'ah da'iyan ilallahi bil hikmati wal mau'izatil hasanah. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik alaihi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man tabi'ahu wa walah. Amma ba'du fa ya ibadallah, usikum wa nafsi bi taqwallah wa huthukum ala ta'atillahi wa ta'ati rasulih la'allakum turhamun. Qala Allah ta'ala fi kitabil karim a'udzu syaitanir rajim wa ati'u Allah wa rasula la'allakum turhamun. My dear brothers, first of all, we praise and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all his blessings. And we also invoke peace and blessing upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family, his companions, and all those who follow him till the day of judgment. As we know that 3 of the 5 pillars of Islam apply to everybody who is considered mukallaf. That means had the obligation to fulfill the religious duties. Number 1 is the shahada or shahadatain, the 2 testimonies. Number 2, as-salah, or the 5 daily prayers. And number 3 is as-siyam, that means the fasting of Ramadan. So these 3 in the hadith is considered to be qawaidul din. It's the basic foundations of Islam, which are obligatory for everybody who is considered mukallaf. While the other 2, so those are subject to financial situation or ability. But today, I would like to discuss just some issues or some aspects of the obligation of fasting. We start by learning what Allah mentioned in ayat 183 Surah Al-Baqarah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات. How you believe fasting has been prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, that you may attain to taqwa or God consciousness. Ayyama ma'dudat, the counted number of days. In other fasting, the counted number of days are on certain days. First of all, we look at how Allah addressed His servant when He wants to impose or prescribe further that obligation. So Allah said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, or you who believe, or you who have iman. So all religious obligations are prescribed in that way, by calling the believers instead of the Muslims. Allah never called the Muslims or those who have become Muslims to do any obligation. He always called those who believe, those who have iman. Why? Because only the iman, the amal, or the good deed, the obligation done based on iman will be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we know some people may do good, or even pray, or pay the zakah, something like that. But in their heart, they don't believe. So this type of people is called al-munafiqun, or hypocrite in Islam. They show they believe or Muslim, but inside they don't. But when Allah called those who believe, they show that those who will fulfill this obligation are the believers. So they fulfill the obligation because of the iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in line with that, so the Prophet ﷺ also reported one hadith Qudusi, meaning the idea from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but reported or narrated by the Prophet ﷺ. As he said, قال الله تعالى كل عمل ابن آدم له إلا الصيام فإنه لي وأنا أجزي به. Every deed or action of son of Adam, mean human beings, is for himself, except the fast, for it is for me, Allah, and I will reward him for it. So this hadith, in relation to the iman, is very significant. Why? If we look at all the obligations in Islam, which are summarized in the 5 pillars of Islam, for example, Shahada can be witnessed because it is audible, can be heard. And then the Salah, the 5-day prayers, also visible, can be witnessed. We can be seen how people pray, or when the people pray. And then we just skip the zakah, also in order obligation, zakah number 3 anyway. And the zakah also is visible, can be witnessed, at least by the zakah collector or the recipients. And the Hajj more. So when people go to Hajj, people will go to the airport to see them off, and when they come back to receive them at the airport, to go to their houses, something like that. So it is visible. But the question, who can see a person fasting? For example, today we are not eating, not drinking. Are we fasting? Maybe some are for some reason, but we don't know. Because fasting cannot be shown or demonstrated. Why? Because we have to abstain from food and drink from Fajr or the dawn to sunset. So if we don't eat for certain hour, that means we are fasting. But nobody can see. You say, Allah accept fasting is for me. Only Allah knows, or Allah knows whether a person is fasting or not. Nobody else knows except the concerned person of God. This is the significance of this iman, what Allah called, oh, you who believe. And number two, here Allah said, fasting has been prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you. If we read the tafsir with the Qurtubi, for example, we find that there's some historical elements of this obligation of fasting. So what happened? Why Allah mentioned as it was prescribed for those before you? Why? In order that the Muslim of the time did not think that this fasting was a new obligation for them only. As you know, that we talk about fasting, what it is, like the non-Muslim, for example, you know. So the response will be, oh, I can't do it. It's so hard. But Allah mentioned here, so fasting was not new to the Muslims, only to the Ummah Muhammad sallallahu, because the previous people were Muslim as well. So what? I mean, the fasting was not new to human beings. It was not prescribed only for the Ummah Muhammad sallallahu. This Allah mentioned as it was prescribed for those before you, meaning I prescribed the same for people before you, but they could do it. Meaning you can do it as well. That's what it is. For example, even if you read the Bible, you will find there the story about Musa or Moses salam, peace be upon him, used to fast 40 days and 40 nights. Kawisal in the Arabic. 40 days and 40 nights. Can you imagine? So if you have to fast only during the day, it's nothing compared to fasting 40 days and 40 nights. But the Prophet Musa did not die because of that. The Prophet Isa alayhi salam, Jesus Christ, used to fast 40 days and 40 nights as well. And he didn't die because of fasting. That is why this is the reason why Allah mentioned as it was prescribed before you. But because Allah SWT is so kind to Ummah Muhammad sallallahu, so by giving Ummah Muhammad sallallahu, you know, many concessions in the ibadah, but Allah will multiply the reward of every good deed at least by 10. One good deed is equal to 10. So Allah made also the fasting for Ummah Muhammad much easier. We don't have to fight for 24 hours. That's what it is. Another aspect in this same ayat is why لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, that you may be muttaqin, those who are conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who fear Allah, who obey Allah for the sake of Allah. That's called taqwa, who is always careful in their life, so not to violate the rules set by Allah, not to disobey Allah in any way. That's called taqwa. But according to history, Allah SWT prescribed the obligatory fasting in 3 steps. Number 1, ayyaman ma'dudat, on a counted days, on the counted number of days. According to Tafsir, it is explained at the beginning, because it was new, so to make the Muslim used to it, instead of prescribing fasting the whole month, so Allah prescribed only fasting certain number of days, meaning 3 days every month at the beginning to make the Muslim used to it. So 3 days every month in 1 year means 36 days, but not the whole month. They're at the beginning. Even at the beginning, but before I mentioned about that, and then Allah revealed another ayat after this ayat, the 184, 185 Al-Baqarah. Why Allah mentioned again about fasting? Because there's different type of fasting. Allah says, "Shahru Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran hudan lin-nas wa bayyinatin min al-huda wal furqan faman shahida minkum ash-shahra falyasumhu falyasum ash-shahr kullah." The month of Ramadan in which the Quran was sent down as guidance for mankind and as explanation of the guidance and as criterion of what is right and what is wrong. So whoever is present during the month, let him fast the month. That means the whole month. Then when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as a second stage, prescribed fasting the whole month. That's why they mentioned twice about fasting. Once at the beginning, just to train the Muslim to get used to it. And then the second stage is the fasting of Ramadan. Initially, the fasting of Ramadan a bit harder than today. Why the Muslim have to fast after Isha? From after Isha. After Isha, when they go to bed, they have to fast from that time until the next day, sunset the next day, at the beginning. Okay. As Allah said, Yuridullah bikumul yusra wa la yuridu bikumul usra. Allah wants ease for you. He doesn't want hardship for you. So what happened? Some of the companions, the young ones, or the young ones, sometimes hard for them to abstain. From after Isha until sunset next day. Not easy for the young people, especially with regard to, relationship with the wife. So some of them violated the rule. And then Allah revealed ayat number 187 to amend the rule. Because Allah saw it was hard for some people. So Allah amended the rule out of His mercy. And then Allah said, أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ لَيْلَةَ الصِّيَامِ الرَّفَثُ إِلَى نِسَائِكُمْ هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنَّ عَلِمَ اللَّهُ أَنَّكُمْ كُنْتُمْ تَخْتَانُونَ أَنفُسَكُمْ فَتَابَ عَلَيْكُمْ وَعَفَا عَنْكُمْ فَالْآنَ بَاشِرُوهُنَّ وَابْتَغُوا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ مِنَ الْفَجْرِ ثُمَّ أَتِمُّوا الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ. So now Allah said has been made lawful for you or permissible to you to make love with your wife during the night of fasting. Allah knew that you have betrayed yourself by fighting the rule. Allah has pardoned you and has turned to you in mercy. May accept your tawbah. Well, Allah said pardon, meaning wipe up quickly, wipe off, like you did nothing. It's called pardon. Oh, Allah. Allah mentioned فَالْآنَ بَاشِرُوهُنَّ. So now you can make love with them and seek what Allah has decreed for you. And eat and drink until the white thread stands clear from the black thread of dawn, meaning until the dawn break, we can see the brightness at dawn. Then you stop fast, or you stop eating and drinking. ثُمَّ أَتِمُّ الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ, and then complete your fasting till nightfall. So basically in the Quran, Allah mentioned the rule of fasting complete. What the Prophet mentioned about the sunnah thing only. Why? Because fasting is different from other obligations. Fasting cannot be demonstrated. Why salah or hajj has to be demonstrated, otherwise people don't know how to do. But fasting cannot be demonstrated. That's why, with regard to other obligations, Allah authorized the Prophet to explain in word and action. But fasting, no. For example, the Prophet said, Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. So pray as you have seen me pray. Or perform salat as you have seen me performing salat. And the Prophet also said, Khudu anni manasikakum. Take from me the rituals of your heart. Because all demonstrated. But fasting cannot be demonstrated. So Allah Himself explained fasting in full in the Quran. I think that's all I have to say today. Barakallah li wa lakum fi Quran al-Azim. Wa nafa'ana iyyakum bima fihi min al-ayati wa dhikril hakim wa taqabbala minni wa minkum tilawatahu. Innahu as-sami'ul 'alim. Aqulu qawli hadha wa astaghfirullah al-'azim li wa lakum wa li sa'iril muslimin wal muslimat. Wastaghfiruhu innahu huwal ghafurur rahim. الحمد لله نستعين ونستغفر ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله مبعوث بين يدي الساعة داعيا إلى الله بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه ووالاه أما بعد فيا عباد الله أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله وحثكم على طاعة الله وطاعة رسوله لعلكم ترحمون. قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وسلم تسليما كثيرا. اللهم ارض عن الخلفاء الراشدين المهتدين سادتنا أبي بكر عمر وعثمان وعلي وعن سائر الصحابة أجمعين. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم الأموات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه بقلوبنا وكره لنا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان واجعلنا من الراشدين. اللهم فقنا في الحمد الصالحين. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا وأخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اللهم لا تسلط علينا بذنوبنا من لا يخافك ولا يرحمنا. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأهلك الكفرة المشركين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون.